Hello and welcome everyone. Today's video features the Tier 10 Premium Italian Battleship Sicilia that is going to be available in Update 13.1 in the Research Bureau for 60,000 research points. Yes, you heard me, 60,000 research points. So this video is all about the Sicilia and what does it bring to the table? Well, it brings you a combination of solid armor, large amount of main battery guns, 16 in total, and a very large number of secondary battery guns that most notably fire semi-armor piercing. And these are very good secondaries. So the ship is described in game as year of design 1945 and based on a conceptual design for a battleship equipped with 4 quadruple gun turrets housing a total of 16 381mm guns. Now this is compared to the Vittorio Veneto class of battleships, but a significant power increase was achieved by upping the main battery gun count and expanding the hull size. Now, additionally, the ship's air defense system comprises of dual-purpose 127mm guns and automatic 40mm and 20mm gun mounts of American production. So while we watch the ship in action, let's go through the ship's complete stats, including the build I'm using, which is currently a secondary build, the ship's armor, and all its numbers. So here you can see the build up on screen. It's just very simple. Secondary build, nothing really too much out of the ordinary here. I've kind of tweaked it a little bit through testing, but this works pretty well. So when it comes to the armor, the Sicilia does get pretty decent armor protection. A 32mm 4-end plating upper and lower. A very nice icebreaker bow of 60mm. Again, the same 32mm plating aft end on the deck and the side plating. The deck plating gets 50mm. The upper casemate armor is 70mm. The superstructure is 19, and the main armor belt is 375mm. Now, the ship's citadel is totally submerged, which is very, very nice to see. Here below the waterline, you can see here this screenshot that the armor model is very nicely protected and deeply submerged under the waterline. The main gun turrets get a frontal plate of 406mm, a side plate of 254, top plate of 200mm, and the rear plating on these guns is 380mm. This ties in nicely with the ship's survivability, 89,900 hit points, and with this build, a torpedo protection damage reduction of 38%. Now I am using vigilance, which does increase this. Now due to this being a secondary build, I only have 4 repair parties, as I'm currently not using emergency repair expert. Sicilia, from the gameplay you have already guessed, has access to the exhaust smoke generator, which is very, very useful indeed. Consumable action time of 66 seconds, a smoke dispersion time of 15 seconds, and you get 4 charges, allowing for extensive maneuvers, both offensively and defensively, whatever the occasion should arise. So moving to the main battery, Sicilia gets 4 quadruple mounted gun turrets consisting of 16 in total 381mm guns. Now with this build, these guns have a reload time of 33 seconds, they can rotate 180 degrees in 38 seconds, they have a max dispersion of 251 meters with a max firing range of 18.9 kilometers. Now these guns have a sigma value of 1.6. They can fire both high explosive and armor piercing. The high explosive does a max damage of 5,100. They can pen 64mm of armor. They have a 24% fire chance and have a shell speed of 880 meters per second. The armor piercing has a max damage on inflicting citadel damage of 12,000 and a shell speed of 850 meters per second. Moving to the secondary battery, Sicilia gets 10 of these twin mounted turrets consisting of 127mm guns. These have a 4.1 second reload, a max firing range of 11.3 kilometers. This is max secondary build. They inflict semi-armor piercing damage. These 127mm can inflict a max damage of 2700. They can pen 36mm of armor and have a shell speed of 808 meters per second. Now this is further augmented by having 18 152mm guns in 6 triple mounted gun turrets, 3 on each side. These pack a harder punch, being able to inflict a max damage of 3850. They have a shell speed of 950 meters. They can pen 42mm of armor and have a reload time of 6.8 seconds. So relatively fast firing, these 152mm guns, all firing semi-armor piercing. Sicilia gets access to the depth charge airstrike with a quite usable 11 kilometers in range, 2 available flights, 1 aircraft for attack flight dropping 2 bombs, and these bombs have a max damage of 4,900. I found them to be quite usable. There's numerous examples here demonstrated in the gameplay. When it comes to AA defense, Sicilia gets a rating of 88, 14 twin-mounted 20mm Oerlikons, and 5 twin-mounted Bofors, 14 quad-mounted Bofor guns, and those 127mm secondary battery are dual purpose. They double up as AA. Now, all combined, they pump out a continuous average damage of 426. The majority of this is medium range. Sicilia can fire 8 shell explosions per flak salvo with a max damage of 1932 with a hit probability of 75. And this action zone for the flak is between 3.5 kilometers and the max firing range, which is 5.8. So when it comes to maneuverability, Sicilia gets a base speed of only 29.6. She is a big ship and quite slow. This can be enhanced with the Sierra Mike signal flag, so your max speed will be 31.1 knots. Your turning circle radius is 960 meters. This is with steering gears, mod 1, and that brings the rudder shift time down to 12.3 seconds. So finally, stats wise, Sicilia has a concealment rating with this build of 38. That equates to a surface detection range of 14 kilometers by enemy ships, and you will be detected by enemy aircraft and submarines at 12.3 kilometers. There are the raw numbers. Now, Sicilia does feel quite tanky. When angled correctly, your citadel is very, very well protected. Having this exhaust smoke generator allows one to get away with maneuvers at times that one would normally never even attempt in a normal battleship. These secondaries are really, really quite nasty. They pump out a lot of raw damage. Now, you don't get the fire chance, of course, but the raw damage numbers I've noticed have been exceptional. So Sicilia brings to it a brawling, hardcore, secondary-style Italian battleship, combining everything what you need, alas, missing that little bit of speed. But everything else, very good armor, lots of main battery guns, lots of secondaries. You do not want to see Sicilia coming out of a smokescreen at medium range, because this ship is capable of hurting you in the right hands. I think brawling captains will have a ton of fun in this ship. I wanted to include this clip as this features a non-secondary build, and just to give you a comparison between the accuracy of the main battery and the accuracy of the secondaries. And this is a nice little clip. The enemy Yorktown actually came in, dropped down a protective smokescreen for this enemy battleship. I popped up my spotter, but avoid the torpedoes. Angled away. You can see clearly here the disparity in the accuracy when using just a normal tank build. I've got the accuracy mod in slot 3 here at the moment, and the reload mod for the main battery guns, and of course the captain's skills are then focused on tank instead. That is however balanced out by having much more accuracy with the main battery, Urugi is beginning to make a turn here. You can see the dispersion on the main battery guns is better. Urugi goes down. I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to come over and visit me on Twitch. I look forward to seeing you all.